dad. You're my hero. You're my mentor. I love you. Happy birthday from me, Nadine. Love you.
Happy birthday, Richard. Happy 80 years loved. I want to try to get through this without being emotional, but it's not going to work. I love you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that you have done for me. Thank you for giving me a chance 15 years ago to blossom. Thanks to you, I came out of my little safe box of growing up in a hometown and in my late 40s to be making this big change in my life, to come up here and work for you. That I will always be so appreciative of you. You are, like I've always told you, you are an angel in my life.
Hi, Richard. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So first I want to sing happy birthday our way at school. So are you ready? Put my glasses down. Happy birthday. Have a happy birthday. Happy birthday. Have a happy day. Richard, happy 80th birthday. I'm so excited that you gave me the opportunity to work for you. I love you with all my heart. And thank you for being just like my dad. Right?
Yeah, happy birthday.
Bye. Maybe we'll come back out later.
Richard, happy birthday. 80 years young. That's amazing. I just left my dad's house today and he's already turned 80. He said if he can make it to 80, so can you. He's got a plan for 20 more years and he expects you to also. So I just wanted to thank you. I mean, I have known you in so many different roles. As camp, I got to work at camp, and I got to be the spa leader, and then I've got to be on staff, and I've just seen you in so many different ways. And I'm just always so impressed at, Nikki is behind me. She's like, I am always so impressed at everything that you do. And the one thing that sticks out to me is that you have a vision, and your vision is what you do, and everything we do is to make your vision happen. I can remember coming to school when the school first opened, and you said, we have to have more students, we have to have bigger classes, we have to add grade levels because we have to have retirement, we have to be able to pay our teachers. And your whole vision is exactly what we have done over all these years. So we've gone from those 43 students the first year to 800 students now, which is absolutely amazing. So congratulations to you on everything that you have accomplished. I never cease to be amazed at you and impressed day after day after day at all that you do. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Richard. I hope it's wonderful. And on your 80th birthday, I want to thank you for the gift that you've given me and my family. Your legacy. My children went through your school. My children both worked for you as adults. My granddaughter loves your school. You've added to and enriched our lives in so many ways, and I love you forever. Happy birthday.
Hey Richard, happy birthday. Happy 80th. That's a milestone, man. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for letting me be a part of your vision for the school and being such a great role model and influence. You really are my role model. Happy birthday.
Richard, happy birthday, 80, wow, what a milestone. Honored to be a part of this celebration with you and to be a part of your life here recently, and look forward to many more with you. Personally, professionally, it's been a pleasure, and again, happy birthday, enjoy, Richard.
Hi, Mr. Richard. I just want to say thank you for your leadership, and you actually hired me, so I'm very appreciative. I've loved my time at Tucson Country Day School, and I want to wish you a happy 80th birthday.
Richard Cooper, you are the reason my sons have become who they are. We chose your school because you focused on discipline, respect, manners, And those are very important to us. And we know that kids who have a safe environment like that, the learning just comes naturally. And both boys have major accomplishments now. And Daniel is now an Eagle Scout. And Matt is an entrepreneur. So thank you so, so much. You are so loved.
Happy birthday, Richard. We want to wish you a very happy, happy birthday. We also want you to know how much we appreciate you and value your friendship so much. We wish you great health, great happiness, and many, many more years.
Richard, I can't wait to get as old as you. One of the things I've always admired is your age, and it's something I'm looking forward to growing older than you. Happy birthday, Richard. Love you.
Happy birthday, Richard. We met in high school. We played on the football team together, and we won.
And here
Happy
we are.
birthday.
And here we are, both old men.
Yep.
Hi, Mr. Cooper. I want to wish you a happy birthday. Thanks for hiring me. You were there at my interview when I came, and I met you that very first day, and I love working at your school, and it's been a pleasure. Happy birthday and many more.
Richard, you are one of the most generous people that I have ever met in my life, and you have such a great sense of humor too. It's just fun, fun, fun being with you. Thanks so much for all the basketball games you've taken us to, and all the fun that you've brought into our life. We just wish you a great, great 80th birthday.
Happy birthday, Richard. We've shared some great adventures together, and now you're in the great adventure of being 80 years old. Welcome to the club.
Sister, and I just met her and I love her a lot. We are drinking buddies, but we're keeping cool.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Are we keeping cool, Barbara?
Yeah,
always.
we are. Always.
Go ahead.
I love you, Richard, and I'm so proud and thank you for inviting me to this party. Thank you, and all these nice, nice people. And they like me and they don't even know me. They'd love me if they knew me. Let me get off. That's really nice.
I didn't see anybody.
know what I'm talking about. They just move around a little bit. And I put together, with the help of my mother and my father's wife and a few other people in the room, a nice little slide presentation that I really appreciate. I know my dad will. And I know you old timers like Mr. Iverson, Mr. Michigan, Mr. Boston, and Charlie Jones, if he was still with us, he would appreciate it. Old timers meaning you've been around longer than me. But I think you'll appreciate what I put together for you. Okay? So a little bit about my dad. Most of you probably don't know that he grew up in Connecticut. And I'd like to call him a pioneer. When I live abroad, and I have for quite some time now, and I get a chance to tell who I am, and I talk to the teachers and my co-workers and faculty, and they ask, tell a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you do, and how you grew up. It's really hard for me to do that. It really is, because I usually only have a few things to say, and they center around my parents, my family, the values that I learned, the integrity that I know they instilled in me, and how they create who I am. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Can you turn off the mic? You want me to use a handheld mic? I'm happy to. So growing up in my world was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. But before I talk about how my dad and my mom immigrated here to the Wild West, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about just a small portion of how they grew up. They meaning my parents, because of course I had a mother and a dad, and they're both here. Okay, we're celebrating my father's 80th birthday, and my mother is also here too. So it's my brother Chris. So we want to share with you a little bit about how we came from Connecticut to the Wild Wild West. Richard Cooper. No, it's not me. No, it's not Chris. That's my father. That's Richard. Okay. He was born in Stamford, Connecticut in 1938. 80 years ago, 2 days ago. He was born to the parents who are on the screen now, Madeline Hotchkiss Cooper and Irvin R. Cooper. My grandparents, of course. My mom gutted out some really cool slides that I didn't have. So, no, that's not Chris. No, that's not me. That's Richard. I'm assuming probably a cake.
That's the way he used to ski. Right downhill.
Doing what he likes to do, hanging out at the beach. My father has two brothers. Jack, who is 4 years older than my father, and Art, who's 13 years older than my father. That up there is Jack. Jack and my father Richard, I'll just refer to him as Richard because that's what I do anyhow. And this is their first home. On December 7th, 1941, lots of things happened. If you do your history, you know what I'm talking about. That was the Cooper's first home in Old Greenwich, Connecticut. They moved into that home on that day. My grandparents, my father, and my uncle, Jack. Anyone that can go back. Anyone that knows Jack, he did pass away a few years ago, check out the legs. He was a tall guy. Another family portrait. My grandmother was on the left, Jack, and my dad over to the right. My grandmother in the middle was, of course, my father's mother, and her two sisters, his aunts. So now we're going to, oh, my Uncle Art. Where is he? Art, would you please stand? Look at your hand. You recognize that? Oh, yeah. Art's 13 years older than Richard, so that's a good photo of Art when he had hair.
4 or 5 years.
Another college photo of Richard Cooper. An athlete. I want to take a pause for a minute to tell you, he's one extra athlete. There wasn't much you could do when I was growing up. He taught me how to do many things. Throw, catch, run, flirt, smile, charm, get anything I want. Nice.
I was never like that.
But those 3 people
That's a good question. What happened to
I had my touch. I had my
He's a
touch.
great athlete. I'm very proud to say I followed in his footsteps with my career. Right around 1961, there was something called the Berlin Crisis. Not history, my dad's history. And right about that time, John F. Kennedy, who was the president, of course, decided to draft. Organize a draft. So my father and my mother, his wife Beverly at the time, decided that they had to do the right thing. And I don't think most of you know that he was in the service. He was in the U.S. Army, drafted during the crisis. And he was stationed at Fort Knox, which is in Louisville, Kentucky.
He was an instructor on tanks or something.
He was in charge of the turret. In a tank, there's a turret. And a turret can turn the tank around. So he operated that, taught people how to operate a turret. He also was a small firearms instructor while he was stationed at Fort Knox. Right about that time, this little person called me came along, and that would be me. So I'm the only one in the family that was born outside of the East Coast. I happened to be born in Kentucky. That's why. Woo! Yeah. My dad, my hero, and me. I like that crew cut, Dad. Very honored. My mother, Beverly, and my father, Richard, and myself. I would imagine that was still in Kentucky, but of course I was too young to remember that. Okay. Thank you, Mom. So when the draft ended, my father and my mother and myself moved back to Connecticut. And then my brother was born. Chris. Thank you. Love you, Stacey. Well done. So now we have a proud family of 4. I'm quite sure that is in Connecticut. My mom always has cute shoes. Do you know my mom? She always has cute shoes. Let's see the shoes. Okay, so for a few years, my father and my mother taught in Connecticut. And I'm trying to go as quick as I can. This is important to me, so I hope it's important to you as well when you're here. They made a decision together that they wanted to leave the East Coast. I think one of my parents was a little bit more strong-willed than the other to leave the East Coast, but they made that decision. So, the Cooper family packed up a 1963 Ford Esquire with a U-Haul and probably my grandmother's car behind it, and we moved to the Wild West. On the way along, stopping at Alice's Diner. Everybody, see what it says on the side of that? So before we came to Tucson, my father and mother worked at Stanfield Elementary School. My dad was a coach, my mom was a teacher, and my dad also taught physical education. Stanfield, Arizona is very close to Casa Grande, not too far from Phoenix. This is the home that was, okay, that's my dad. for approximately 1 month or an academic year while Sorrel High School was being built here. That's my father, of course, teaching physical education in Stanford, Arizona. What a guy. Mr. Cool. He was also a football coach. So while we were in Stanford, Arizona, my parents looked at property in Tucson. They also looked at some job opportunities in Washington State and Phoenix Valley. Tucson won the bid because of the climate. And for 1 year, my father taught at Palo Verde High School here in the old Pueblo while Saguaro was being built. At the same time, you can read 1967 on there, my parents had a home built in Rolling Hills Country Club. A lot of things happened in those couple of years. So that would be our first Christmas in our home in Rolling Hills, which is not too far from here. So, most of you, if you know me, you know this story. If you don't, possibly you don't, I don't know. But somewhere along the line, it doesn't matter the date really, but right around the time I'm discussing now, my parents decided that we needed to purchase some land. Okay, so to make a long story stop, my dad and I happened to be out driving one day, and we came across this place called the Old Deer Ranch. It's a petting zoo. It was here for a long time, I suspect. It happened to be closed down, and it was for sale. So they purchased land. At the time it was 22 acres. Was born. The program, I'm pretty good with dates, but not nearly as good as my father. The program actually started on November 15th, 1967. Camp Adventure Country Day School is what it was called for about 3 years. My mother had a huge role in beginning that school. And then that very first summer would have been the summer of '69 when we started Camp Adventure. So, for those of you that have been part of the business, that's how it became what it is today. For me, ultra proud. It's a legacy that my parents have left, not just my father, my parents. And I was a part of it from the time I was old enough to paint, to throw a hammer. Anybody that's worked with me knows my work ethic. I'll do it, whether it's cleaning the toilet, or mentoring a teacher, or disciplining a student, whatever needs to be done, I'll do it because it's part of what we do in our family. So, that's Camp Adventure. Back in the day, we would go up our family and to Mesa, correct me if I'm wrong, Dad, Mesa Bus Barn in the valley. And we would go up there, and I would go with my dad, we would go up to the big city, and we'd buy buses, old buses that would run down and bring them back. I don't remember how many years. Someone that grew up with me like Brenda, Kara Durant, I know she was named Kara when it was Durant. You might remember that the buses used to be yellow and then we did them green, that lovely green. Anybody that grew up in Tucson might remember the billboards. But for a while it was like that. And then somehow we came in blue. So, the next few photos are just some proud photos that I found or my family found. Oh, this is a good one. Oh my gosh, a trailer. I grew up. When my father knew I was going to become an educator, he always said to me, don't go in the teacher's lounge. Because all that goes on is you don't want to be that way. You don't want to be known as a teacher that's got kids. But I know, because I remember I was a pretty sharp kid, paying attention to what my parents were doing. His faculty wanted a place they could go on their own. So, what did we do? We found one of the old trailers that were wherever they were, and we probably hooked up one of the station wagons and dragged to the top of campus. That's faculty. It worked. I painted it, we fixed it up, it looked nice. What you also may not know, Don Lawhead knows, Russ Russo knows, Bill Iverson knows, my dad's a really amazing sailor. Chris and I and my mom, we grew up on a sailboat, Santana 21, and we spent all of our vacation time, whenever that was, in Mexico, San Diego, sailing, pulling our boat back and forth. Of course, that's a picture of my father and now Chris and my father on our sailboat. And if you've ever been to Rocky Point, that's the Sandy Beach used to look like back in the day.
Also got a flat stomach.
Our sailboat was called La Adventure, and our dinghy was called Seychelles. Somewhere along the road, and I do kind of remember, but dates don't matter, my dad met this really cool guy named Russ Russo. And he grew up a huge part of me, really did. Very influential. I listened to his wisdom, and he would always tell me, if you find a good child, wait. Go take that other job. Don't be loyal to anyone. Smart man. Well, there's a picture of Richard and Russell in the middle. I'm assuming it's Hudson by Falls. That's about right. Because it's all for sure. Not too many years later, a lovely little lady named Carolyn came along, and we had a surprise wedding for them in Salt Lake City. My dad also met a really neat guy named Mr. Iverson. And I believe you met my father at Swirl High School, correct? Calvary. 1966.
First year.
Oh! The other gentleman in my father's life, Don Lawhead.
That's me? Richard, what happened to us?
There was a man in my dad's life, and he had worked in Tucson Unified School District at the time. His name is Charlie Gross. He was the superintendent. I know Don and Bill knew him very well. He was a really neat guy. He has a lovely wife. She's still with us. Her name's Eleanor. And to me, she was Aunt Ellie. She worked as a food server at Camp Adventure for 20 to 22 years. A couple of other quick photos. My dad's amazing coach. He taught Swirl High School swim team for many years. Swirl still doesn't have a pool, so they went to Eastern Hills School. And that's a nice shot of him. The far right, the gentleman, his name is Doug Workley. He swam in the 1972 Olympics with Mark Spitz, and I believe took the bronze. So just some family photos. Travels to the world. My parents have always been very supportive of almost everything I wanted to do. They would tell me things like, you may not always agree with the decisions, but we'll always support you. It's very important, and I try to make sure I incorporate that as an educator to students. You understand that it's okay to make mistakes. About the time that I wanted to move overseas, and I was ready to go, my father met this nice, lovely lady. And thank you for joining our outrageously insane family, which I love. That is a photograph of obviously Richard and Susan's son Garrett. So I thought I would end begin my presentation with my hero, my dad. That photo is only 8 days old? About 3 days old. Susan and myself took my dad out there. I love you, Dad. Thank you. You will always be in the heart, and I would do anything for you.
Very nice.
I would like my brother Chris to come up and say a few words, please.
I'm the shy one. So anyway, what I found out is that great to be here. Great to see a lot of people I haven't seen for a long time. And Nadine called me a while back and asked me if I had pictures to send up, but I said, I'm the son, I have no pictures. Right? But it's good to see those pictures. Now, if you saw the one with me like that, and they should have called me Chuck. See that Chuck head? It was huge. So I thought what I would just share briefly was some of the attributes and character that was passed on by Dad and my mom. And then tell a little story. Tell a story that relates to each one. Dad, can you hear me back there? You can? Okay. So, first one is hard work. Nadine mentioned hard work. Taught us that. And so, I don't know if a lot of you know, but the school and camp actually shut down for a few years back in the late 80s. And so 89, the two of us reopened the camp first, if I recall. Right? So, it was 89 or so. I have the best memories of that. It was just the two of us out there setting up the office in a little trailer. Not trailer you showed, different one. In the Arts and Crafts trailer. Adrian and Linda remember the Arts and Crafts trailer? The old one.
With the hole in the floor?
Yeah, that's right. I think it had a hole in the floor. That's what we could kids when they were done. Anyway, the two of us worked and we built at least 2 Ramadas, right? Remember the 6x8 poles? So imagine the two of us are out there with an auger, 2-man auger, right? That's the big, large drill bit. And it had to be 5 feet tall because we put, of course, knowing him, we had to go down deeper than we should have. And we hit caliche on at least half of the holes. But you know, it's funny because we're out there working every day. And people would walk up asking about the school, and they would never realize that he was the owner of the program. He had a knee bandage on and back brace on. But I think you were about my age at that point, 50 or so. But I learned that hard work ethic. I learned hard work, and it's carried me through a lot of ups and downs in my life. But to this day, it's something I cherish. The second thing is, and this kind of ties in directly, is never can you tell him something can't be done. Those of you who know him, am I right? So one time, we're in Rocky Point sailing, and I think it was just the two of us and my best friend Martine. Martine had never been on a sailboat before. And so we left and we get out just outside of the harbor, and I don't remember how. Well, way back up, the boat had sat, it stayed in Mexico, and it had sat in the sun for a number of years. It hadn't been used. So here we are, we're just out of the harbor, and my friend Martine's eyes are already like this because he had never sailed. And the mast broke. You remember the mast breaking? Yeah. It fell down. Now, it was rough. It was fairly rough. And I mean, I'm ready to bail, right? What are you going to do? My friend Martine, he's going nuts because he's never been on the ocean. Well, maybe in the ocean, but not there. We're going to fix this, he says. So are you crazy? How are we going to fix that? Well, we did. It took us maybe an hour, but we had the mast back up, and we sailed that day. And again, it was pretty rough seas, but you can't tell him that something can't be done. Another attribute that I carry today, I'm sure Nadine does as well. You know, it's one of my favorite things, matter of fact, about him. And again, I have a lot of good stories that we don't have time for about that. I gotta tell one more thing. This isn't funny, it's kind of gross, but we should build our own septic tanks. Right? And so Nadine mentioned cleaning the toilets. Well, we're down in the septic, one of them filled up. And we had to get it fixed for some reason really fast, and we opened it up and it was full. And someone had to put their hand in there to unclog it. Well, he didn't hesitate. It's really gross, but that's it. You do whatever you got to do to get something done. And I remember watching him, that made a huge impact on me. But it made a huge impact because you do whatever you got to do in life. And I really like that. Leadership is another one, and it's leadership to me especially in situations of, what's the word I want to use, when something's going wrong in the world. And so, again, back to Rocky Point sailing. Mom and I were talking about this driving down here. South of Rocky Point, there's a huge estuary. Estuary, if you don't know, is where a river meets the ocean. And in Rocky Point, the tide can go up 16 feet, up and down. It's one of the largest tides, I believe, in the world. And so, this estuary, we used to go there and this Tucson Sailing Club. Tucson Sailing Club, we'd go there, and as kids, it was wonderful because we would just play. We'd beach, the sailboats would beach, and anyway, this estuary on the far side of it, and it was a good 2 miles, I think, across. It's huge. There was this old boat, and we called it the Pilgrim boat. It looked like a ship that the Pilgrims would have come over. Huge wooden ship. It was at the far side, and the story is it came in there in a storm once when the tide was real high. It had beached itself and never was able to get back out. Anyway, so all of us families, I don't know, 5, 6 families. I was 6 years old, 10 families. We all walked all the way out there, and when that water drains out, it goes out. And we actually had to go through little rivers to get to the other side. So we're there, now we're coming back. We're about in the middle, a mile out from either side, roughly. And the tide starts coming back in. Now I don't know how they didn't plan for this. And when it comes in fast. So I just have some recollection of that, and I remember just crying because that water was coming up. So who steps to the forefront but my dad? And as I understand it, he had to run up towards the way that the water was coming in, get far enough above it, past where the sailboats were, jump in and start swimming across. So by the time he got there, imagine a river pulling you down, he was able just to grab the tail end of our sailboat. And he went around and picked up all 10 families on that boat. And it's another character, an attribute that I think is in both of us. You know, I love those situations where something's going wrong and it just comes natural to both of us to jump in and control and do what needs to be done. So, by the way, you saw the picture of this man in the live stream. In case you don't know, he is the craziest guy probably in the room. Doesn't look like it maybe right now. I also have great memories of these two right here skiing in Park City. Crazy. So, okay, the next thing is humor. And if you know him, Dave left. But again, something that's carried over for me is humor, laughter. And I just had somebody tonight say something about it. Your dad's so funny, he's so wonderful, he's engaging. There's just something about him that draws you to him. Well, And it was funny because right next door there used to be a Baskin Robbins right in the corner. Remember that? And so, you know, growing up with him, we would go out and do things, and it was fun when we were little. It's funny, haha, guys doing that again, right? But as we got a little bit older, you know, it was a little embarrassing, right? He's doing that same thing again. So I remember a couple times, and one in particular, we pull up to this Baskin Robbins, and this is the Baskin Robbins, and you should park this way. He pulled up, parked two wheels up on the curb, and I remember, just like there is a lot in those kind of restaurants or stores, there was two young high school kids working in there. And we look in and they're already, what's going on? And he gets out, walks through the front door, does a somersault on the ground, jumps up, hey! And goes to the counter and proceeds to order something like a 2-gallon cone. And before we leave, they're laughing. These kids are just laughing with him. We're probably laughing at that point. And it was just fun. And but you know, when I go, and all of you can attest to this, when you go somewhere with him, people are going to know who he is. And if they don't, whether they do or not, you're going to leave and people are just going to be, you know, they'll feel like they've known him forever. Because that's how, yeah, that's right. I don't necessarily have a story about this, but it's passion. Hey, where are you going? Pop. It's all about you. So, but it's passion. And it's funny because that sign said Camp Adventure. Well, when I grew up, it was camp. The school went on, but we don't really know much about the school because they didn't go there. We went to camp every summer. For our whole lives we went there as campers, and then we worked. And so it's camp. To this day I still refer to it as camp. And people look at me thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. But it's camp. But the school, to both of my parents, because my mom did have a huge hand in starting the school. You know, when I worked with him and we parted ways, I don't know where he got the idea to start a charter school, but look at what it became, right? I don't know, you have 800 kids there or something like that? I don't think that includes the preschool, does it? And then what was the award he won years ago? A number of years ago, about nationally recognized School of the Year, something like that? Well, that's him. He has a passion for it. You can ask Susan. You can probably ask my mom from way back when. You can ask Linda, you can ask Adrienne, all kinds of people that I don't even know. If you're over at his house late at night, he stays up all night and he works. Right? He works, he draws, he sketches, and he should be a tough one for me because the other thing you'll notice if you go to his house and you go in the bathroom, there's not one deodorant on the shelf, there's 13. And they're lined up, man. They're lined up. They're right next to the Aqua Velva, lined up. They were in his trailer too. In his trailer. Now if you go to mine, it's just the opposite. Although now my fiance straightens everything out for me as well. Right? But passion is what he has. And the fact that he's built the school, built camp. You know, camp at one point had 425 kids a day, every day in that program. And we transported door to door probably 75% of those kids in every kind of vehicle, including those station wagons that were on there. But Dad, I love you so much. And you're an amazing man. And I just don't know what to say other than how much I love you. And you know, I see him and my children, my kids, my son Nick and my daughter Maddie. Those things have all been passed down, the same attributes. And so, if you have a glass, here's a glass. Toast. Toast. See you, Pop. We love you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday!
Maybe words. Thank you, Chris. I'll just piggyback real quick on why Richard Cooper started a charter school. I only know this because I ask all the time. He started a charter school so that students that couldn't afford private education could have the best education. That's why. Point blank. So, at this point, I'd like to invite my father, Richard H. Cooper, with me, please.
Thank you. I don't need one of these, but I will use it. I was just talking about, to some people, we had a 10th anniversary many years ago, and now it's 50. Believe that. I want to recognize some people, very special people, who, without them with me, around me, this place could have never started. First of all, I want my former wife, Beverly, to come up here. Beverly, put your tail up, please, and come up here. Art Dahlstrand, please, up here. Where's Chris? And I want also Russell Russo to come up here. Take your time, Russ. Take your time.
He wants you back on the board. Yeah, you take my place. The door's that way.
I'm going to try to go as fast as I can because I know the food is coming soon. But you look wonderful. Everybody looks wonderful. Get over there. Okay. We'll all get here together. Without these people, we would not be here today. Hey, I'm in the trash can. No, I'm kidding. But these people are the ones that allowed the campus to start. I'd like to tell you a few very quick stories, starting with Art, my brother. Art came out well after we had opened the school and camp. And when he got there, he said, I'd like to help you with all this stuff. Do you have the materials? Yes, I have all the materials in the back. And so, when I took him back there, I told him, okay, Art, you start pulling the nails out of all the boards, and I'll start on this end. Why? Couldn't afford nails, couldn't afford lumber. School teachers, I couldn't afford those types of things. So what I would do is on the weekends, I'd take my trailer by myself and go all over and ask people, you're going to dump that in the dumpster? Why don't you dump it in my truck and I'll take it for you? Well, I came right out to camp, dumped in the camp, and then we started not only getting the wood all together, but I told Art, we got to straighten the nails out now because we're going to use them again. And we did. And that's how we build our buildings in the beginning. My own nails. Right. Naturally, Beverly and I were married at the time, and she just took over the school once we got going. And I was working at Saguaro with a couple of swimming teams. And without her, again, you would not have this school here today. The same thing goes for my two children. Nadine came out to camp, and she was working and working, and people would say, she can't lift those big 55-gallon drums filled with something. And she lifted them up and couldn't believe it. Same thing with my son. He was always there acting in a manner that would improve the school. Now, thank you. The last one up here is my best friend, Russ Russo. I met in the beginning of when I tried to find a place. Oh, I know what I did. I saw an advertisement interested in that property we're on. And so I ran to the guy who was the realtor. And I said, look, I'm brand new to town. I need a good lawyer. Who's the lawyer? He said, Russ Russo. Without Russ Russo, I am telling you, most of you know, not all of you, we would not be here. He did so many things to keep us going, and I just don't know what to tell you. I mean, you guys go sit down. We appreciate it. They tell me I'm going to sing, and when I entered college, I was a music major, majoring in voice. I wanted to become a choral director, like my grandfather was. And so I used to sing a lot. That was in the 30s, when I was 30 and 40. At 80, I can't anything, but we will try my way. Here we go. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, but more, much more than this, I did it my way. We're getting it. I'll pick it up. The hell with the music. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I can get back to the wasted all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. Love, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that. And may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, no, not me. I give it my way. What is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not.
Good job, Richard. Good job.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
In that, I didn't make the
So I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain.
Your name first, kid?
I live a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, but more, much more than this, I did my way. I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more than this, I did. When I did all more than I could chew. Wasn't it all when there was doubt? I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all and I stood tall and did it my way. Loved, laughed and cried. I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, find it all so amusing to think I did all that. These are his groupies. Not in a shy way. Oh no. No, not really. Then he has not. He truly feels and not the words of Watermeal. The record shows I took the blows and did it
So, before we eat, because I know you're hungry, we need to sing the birthday boy. Birthday boy. Linda, want to guess your birthday boy somewhere we can maybe here?
This is for your 80th birthday. For those of you who don't know me, I worked for Richard almost 30 years. And we had ups and downs, but we had a lot of fun. Yes. Yeah, tears, anger sometimes, but we remained friends. And Richard always stood beside me no matter what, and I've been there for him also. And I just want to say that everything that Chris said and Nadine said about Richard, I experienced it the same thing. Many times I look out my window and where was Richard? Digging a trench, you know? And then one time I was working late and it was our monsoon season. And I hear the lawnmower. I go, what's on the lawnmower? I look, there's Richard out on the ball field, cutting the grass. Well, you know the rule at camp, if you see lightning, you know, 1001, 1002, get out, get the kids in, be safe. I look out, there's lightning. There's Richard on the lawnmower. I turn around and I hear this crash. And I look and there's Richard. The lightning had hit the ground, and Richard was on the ground. So of course I go over to see, make sure he's okay. And oh, Linda girl, it's okay, go back, it's okay, leave me alone. So it's been a journey, and all of you who are working with him now know that he has a heart of gold. Children before everything. He wants them to have the best education and respect for his staff and the families and we love you and we thank you for all you've done.
Okay, let's sing happy birthday to this boy, shall we? Uno, dos, tres. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Richard. Happy birthday to you.
Wait. That is not good enough. We also have to sing happy birthday in the TCDS way. So for those of you who know it, join me. Happy
after we start eating for remarks, because I know there are some of you that would like to say a few words, but right now I think we need to head over to food. No! Are you? Oh, there he is. Please have a song to my dad, Richard, if I can get his attention. This is a song that I'm dedicating to you from me. It's called Dare to Live. It's taking me through my journeys overseas. I've been overseas for a long time, as most of you know. And I have not encountered a moment yet where I just didn't fight through it because I was a little nervous. But this song is by a very popular Italian singer, and it's called Dare to Live. Really neat slides you can look at also up on the monitor that were not part of my presentation.
And all the things you left behind. Oh, those tender words you did not say, the gentle touch you couldn't find. In these days of nameless faces, there's no one truth but only pieces. My life is all I have to give. Until the very last, dare to live, forget about the past, dare to live, giving something of yourself to others, even when it seems there's nothing more left to give.
Ma se tu vedessi l'uomo davanti al tuo portone che dorme avvolto in un cartone, se tu ascoltassi il mondo una mattina senza il rumore della pioggia, tu che puoi creare con la tua voce, tu pensi ai pensieri della gente, di Dio c'è solo Dio. Vivere, nessuno mai ce l'ha insegnato.
walk around, and if there's anybody that would like to say a few words, I'll just come over to you.
Okay, so I had 4 short stories to tell you, but since we're running, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I had 4 short stories. One about Richard being so organized, his energy, his integrity, and his generosity. But since it's getting so late, and I hope that so many people do some talking, I'm just going to do the first one, organized. Okay, so Richard and I met about 11 years ago at the Maverick. And some people say that it was a divine intervention because Richard was adamant about not going there that night, and I did not want to go there that night, but thank God, Mr. Curtis over here, Lauren, kept calling Richard and saying, Richard, you need to come out, you need to come out, you need to come out. So he finally did. And I went out with my girlfriend also. So Richard and I were attracted to each other right off as soon as we saw each other. Then we started dancing, and what interested him more about me was the fact that I was a 31-year retired school teacher. And what interested me more about him was he wanted to show me a brochure that was in his trunk of his car. So we went out there, and when he opened his trunk, it was like, oh my God, so organized. I mean, so organized, unbelievable. And so, wow, I was interested in that. And then he invited me over to dinner, and I went to his house, and it was like everything was in its place. A place for everything, everything in its place. That's what I've always said and thought. And so anyway, okay, where am I going with this? Okay, and so, yeah, organization, you know, we were organized. And then, even ladies, I have to tell you this, that when I went into his bathroom, not only was the toilet seat down, but the lid also.
No doubt in my mind, Susan. I grew up that way.
My name is Barbara. I'm Susan's sister and Richard's sister-in-law. On this special day, we celebrate a special man. He's an incredible person with a big heart. He's a class act, a blessing among people, a joy to hang around. Full of life. Words may be a lot, Richard. Perfectly describes you. He's a joy to all of us, and I thank y'all for letting me be part of this wonderful occasion, this joy. And brother-in-law, what I want most for you, to count your life by smiles, not tears. And by friends, not years. And my wish for you also is that God forever never stops pouring His divine love and blessing on you. And let me tell y'all, I know y'all known Him a long time, and I haven't. But how special that must be. I love Him. I love him. He's the best, one of the best people I've ever met. And I don't know if any of y'all ever heard Sister Wife? See me, Sister Wife? But it's a new year, and you never know. All right? Happy birthday, Richard. You're the best. I love you. I love it. I love it.
Thank you, Barbara.
Okay, well, Nadine said something a little bit earlier about tidbits that you didn't maybe know about Richard. Okay, I got a little tidbit too. How many of you knew that Richard is responsible for the birth of my first child? Hands up, hands up. Thank God my husband knows the answer to that one.
You promised me you'd never say that.
It's all out now.
We were at Richard's 10th anniversary celebration for Tucson Country Day School. I was 9 months pregnant, and his doctor kept coming by me and saying, "Stop dancing!" But I'm like having a ball and dancing, it was great music, and I went into labor that night, so Richard is responsible for the birth of our first child. I've known Richard for 40 plus years, and Richard is really one of the bestest guys I know. He's loving and kind and generous. They're our favorite traveling companions, U of A fans. We love you, Richard and Susan. Happy birthday, Richard. Love you.
You never want to follow your wife or your kids. Richard, this is for you. You might have seen that picture up there. Richard and I sailing at Rocky Point. I can't believe that was either one of us, actually. That's pretty amazing. But Richard, you know, is the consummate educator. And Richard said, "I want to take you to Rocky Point, and I'm going to teach you how to sail." So it sounds good to me. So we got down to Rocky Point, just the two of us. Got out, beautiful seas, started sailing. Richard says, "Okay, now hold steady right here. I've got to go downstairs and get something." I said, "Okay." So he went downstairs and went to sleep. I said, "We're going to Cabo San Lucas. We're going to have changing course until he wakes up." But he did. He finally woke up, and I could tell 1,000 stories. You know, it brings to mind in Park City when you were so proud when you bought those golf clubs. And he says, "You're going to see these golf clubs. They're almost brand new. I got them at the second-hand store, but they're almost brand new. You got to see these." And I went down and I said, "Richard, these are beautiful clubs. When did you start playing left-handed?" No idea they were left-handed clubs. The last story I want to tell real quickly is that we go to a lot of games together, and we were living, when we first got married a long time ago, we were living down at the country club, and we were late, and you know, Richard does not like to be late. Richard is organized, he likes to be on time, very, very important to him. So he picks us up, and we're very late, and he likes to get there an hour and a half before everything starts. And he was so consumed with himself, and he got to the corner, and he saw these ducks that were out there, and he says, "I'm going to stop, and we're going to look at these ducks. We're going to try to pet these ducks, and we're just going to relax and have a good time." So he was in the moment. I really appreciate that. But he has been a very unbelievable friend, generous to the hilt, and I just love you, Richard. Thanks so much.
The one where the Canadian about 10 months ago, I started to get out of the golf cart and decided it was going to stop. It went one way and I was and I landed on my head. So my wife says, "It wasn't so bad because it's probably the toughest love of my life." So that accomplished for the training I that was about Richard, you know, we all know his attributes, he's just a wonderful guy. He's the kind of guy that you always want to have as a friend. Since the time that was mentioned. In fact, I was involved in that deal. So he needed a lawyer, and I was the lawyer. I've known him ever since. It's a good thing that he didn't follow my advice because can't convince him that he never did it. He would tell me, well, I'm going to go there. And he would say, well, you have to commit. And he would ignore me. Richard, you have to commit. What is a commit? Richard, you can't. Richard, you can't. I mean, he just, everybody said he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. That's why he was his way, even though the authorities liked the idea, but they never knew it. He'd say, look, don't tell me about that. Right time. Years ago, and they mentioned it was that I didn't have a commitment. I didn't have a commitment. Let's go ahead. But he's been my dear friend. And Richard always understood one way, and that's the aim means downhill, and you go like hell. And that's the way that you speak. But we have a lot of good times together.
Anyone? Anyone? Anyone?
I'm going to try not to cry, but I've been crying all night. Talking to my old friends that I used to work with, Adrian and Miss Linda. Richard, the only thing I want to tell you is that my son, for those of you who don't know, he's had an obstacle in his life. But I can't tell you enough how important it is, and I always will remember your words. It's not really that important how smart they are, but the human being that they are. And I cannot thank you enough for my son, who is an incredible human being. He might not be the smartest one, and you've always told me that it's not important how smart you are, but that you're an incredible human being. And thank you for that, because my son is an incredible human being. So thank you for having this school for him. He's been there from kindergarten to 8th grade, and then he went to Tinker Verde. But all I hear from other people is how sweet and caring he is, and he got that from being at your school. And a lot of people say that I'm a great mom and blah 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 blah, but you know how I really am. And he's nothing like me. So I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart, because I don't think he would have been a great human being if it wasn't for going to that school. So I love you, Richard. Happy birthday. And I love you, son. I'm very proud of you.
Hi. So my name is Adrienne. Some of you guys I know, most people I know. And when they called me, they said, well, people said, you guys are doing this for him. I live in California, so I decided definitely I have to be there. He's amazing. But I worked with him for over 15 years, and he's the kind of guy, as everybody knows, he'll take the shirt off his back, literally. But don't do it, not right now. But one story, just, I remember is I was home and I was going through obstacles, as we all do. but he's always, there for us. And I told him, Richard, I'm not going to be able to be at work today. I don't have a car. So-and-so and so-and-so and this and this and this and happened, and my kids and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to be able to make it to work, and I don't have a way to transportation. So 30 minutes later, knock, knock, knock. He's like, here are the keys. Get to work. I need you to do payroll. So that's who he is. Been there for my kids, for my husband, and I love him. And so anybody calls me, I don't care if I'm in California, I will come.
All right, well, I'm not very good at this, but Richard was my coach in high school at Palo Verde in '67, and about 25 years after I graduated, I ran into him, probably had a barley pop together or something, but and he asked me what I was doing, and I was into construction, so I ended up going to work and working for Richard. I love it, the guy's fabulous. But one of the stories I want to tell that was kind of crazy. You think he can sing? You ought to see him dance. And we used to go partying, and one of his favorite places was the Westward Look. And we're there one night, and the band's playing, and he's there fiddling around like, Rick, what the heck's going on? He says, I gotta take these shoes off, man. I gotta slide on that wood floor. And he did. He popped his shoes off, and he cut out. He looked like Tom Cruise. I mean, he was my hero after that. He said, you don't need shoes in here. We'll just dance without them. But it's been a great ride, Richard, and I love the school. And Richard, thank you. Happy birthday.
Stand up, Wanda. Stand up.
You're an educator. Go for it.
I'm honored and privileged to be here. My memory of Richard is that he and Adri hired me. I was originally a parent at the school, and I'll never forget I came in on a weekend and just drove by, and he happened to be at the school and opened the gates to show me around. And that was just as a parent. After I volunteered with my kiddos who started there at preschool, I eventually became a teacher there, and I've been there ever since. My kids have gone on to be really great champions. And that is because of the education they received at that school. They come back, they both come back and work summer camp. My middle son had a scholarship to University of Arizona in physics and astronomy. He really wanted to do that from preschool. And my youngest son is currently a junior at Tinker Verde High right now, and they still come back to TCBS. That is their home. We live there a lot, and we do it with joy because of what he did, Richard. And I am so appreciative, and I want to say thank you for hiring me, and happy birthday. And I feel so happy to go to work every day. It is like a family here, and that is with your leadership, and that is kind of how you founded the school, and that's why I'm still there. So thank you, happy birthday.
My wife and I have had many great adventures with you, Richard, and with Susan. And one of the things that has struck me about why it is that the Country Day School is so successful. What is it that makes it work? And I realized that it seems such an obvious thing. You absolutely love and cherish your teachers, and you love and you cherish the students, and that is a winning formula. And it seems so simple, but it's a great sign of success, and I think today's gathering expresses that. People here, they've experienced your love and your caring, and now you're getting it back. Happy birthday.
Richard's older brother. I came into the family when I was 13 years old, and it's one of the best adventures that anyone could ever have, to have a brother like Richard and Jack, and we enjoyed ourselves as much as we could, and I just love helping him at the school, which he mentioned, and boy, those fingernails are still sore from banging out nails. But we had a great time doing it, and you can't imagine what he looked like. You know, with his hands, they were all bleeding, and he was a mess, but he kept on going. You know, the kind of guy he is, and I can't help but love him. You can't help but love him. He's so gentle, and at times, and he did a wonderful thing for me on my 80th birthday. He invited my whole family out into Utah at Mackay, and it was unbelievable. We were there to stay for about 3 or 4 days, and we just had a wonderful time together. So I congratulate you, Richard, on your 50th year at the school. You're an amazing guy, and I can't help but just love you a whole bunch.
Art joined during the Second World War. He joined the Marine Corps at 17 years old, which was illegal. And he ended up in all the major islands. I can't even remember them all. What's the last one where they... Iwo Jima, you know, and all these places where buddies, they have to be buddies in the thing. You know, the buddies have to be buddies, and you stay with your buddy. Well, some of those got machine gunned and got killed, and I just can't believe I could ever have a wonderful brother like Art, who is 94, 93. Will be Friday. 93 years old. Second World War.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Maddie. I'm Chris's daughter. A lot of you haven't seen me since I was probably like 6 or something. This is Nick, my brother, also saved. So, I'm sure a lot of you know, sorry I didn't really plan on saying anything, so I'm kind of winging it. My grandpa, we call him Pop Pop. He is probably the craziest guy I know. I'm gonna be honest. And from what I can remember when we were little, anytime there was a holiday or anything, he would always take us out to dinner. When we were younger, we would go to Little Anthony's. At the end of every celebration, I don't know if you know this, they'll give you a sundae, and they sit you on this chair, and he would trick us every time to do this. And they're taking your picture. So you're sitting there, you're so excited. And then at the last minute, the 2 servers who are next to you turn and kiss you on the cheek. And he loved it. He would get both of us when we didn't know any better. Probably 7 years old. And he would get us up there. He's like, oh yeah, you're gonna get a sundae. It's gonna be so great. And what do you know? They just plant a big old kiss on you. And then he would run up and he would plant a big old kiss on you. And they'd take a picture of it. And I know we have pictures of both of us, and our faces are just absolutely horrified. And just hated it. But looking back on it, it just is hilarious because that is so who he is. He always has to make sure, you know, if it's your day, it's your day. And he wants you to feel loved and appreciated. And he just embarrass the heck out of you, you know, but you love it, and you love it, and you love him, and even to this day, he'll take us out for our birthday every single year, and without fail, he'll dance with the waitress, and when I was turning 21 a couple years ago, it was, I think, the week before my actual birthday, and he was like, we gotta buy her a bottle of wine, and we gotta get this party started. It's like, I'm not 21 yet, I can't actually drink. But he just always wanted you to just have the best time, and I know he made us laugh every single time we would ever do anything with him. Tonight, we were both laughing so hard. So I feel blessed to call you my grandfather, and it was amazing seeing all those old pictures. I don't think I've ever seen them or really heard the full story of, you know, why you guys came out here. So it was really special, and I know Nick too. We're both very happy we could be a part of this and help you celebrate. And I mean, God, I spent every single summer since I was 2 through 15, 16 at camp every single year. We would go swim in there. We would go, my dad had a key, we'd go out there on the weekends, like, oh, no one's around, and go unlock the door and go swimming. Nick cut open his face on the old nasty slide in the pool, had to get stitches. And he taught us how to drive out there without our parents knowing on the golf carts. So we were, I was probably 12 years old, and he's like, oh, Maddie, just sit on up there and we'll teach you how to drive. Don't even worry about it. And he just let me go. I was like, okay, I don't know. But it's just, as most of you know, anytime you're with him, it just is always so much fun. And you really taught us how to have a good time. And like everybody said, you're just such a hard worker, and I really look up to that, and I cherish that, and I cherish your value of education.
Very nice.
Okay, brother. All right. Guess it's my turn. Well, like we all said, like she said already, I'm Nick.
Yeah, came up in all those years, and when Pop-Up would come out, I would get to go give the biggest hug, and everyone would be so jealous. And that's my grandson, you know, Mr. Cooper. I couldn't believe it. But I'm lucky enough now to take the values that you've given to me into Eller, the College of Management at U of A, and every single day I can show those values of leadership and strength and work ethic and but they made me the man I am today, and I continue to use those to become a better man every single day. So thank you, Pop-Pop.
Okay, so Richard is the only brother I have ever had. I love you, Richard. Happy birthday. But, okay, I have to tell you Richard's story. So many years ago, Russell and Richard and I were driving to Park City. You know, you ski up there. Have a good time. But in order to do this, we had to go through Kanab, Utah. We spent the night in Kanab, Utah. And everyone who knows Richard knows how he loves to get up early in the morning. And he's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go. Yeah. Well, so we get in the car, and he takes the cigarette lighter. Oh, by the way, this is a Sunday morning. He takes the cigarette lighter and looks at it, and then he puts it in backwards. Shorts out the entire electrical system of an arm. It's Sunday morning in Kanab, Utah. Everybody's in church all day. Anyhow, we made it to Park City. Somehow did this thing. And I love you, Richard. Happy birthday.
And I'd like to just say that Carol and Eagle Folklore is the only sister I have ever had.
love you. Thank you for helping me blossom 15 years ago, leaving my little town for my Hispanic family. I'm still learning from him. I will always be eternally grateful. You've always been my angel. You saw in me something that I never knew I was able to be or do in my late 40s when I came up here. That's my age, but anyway. Like I said, you helped me blossom where I was planted, and I was planted 15 years ago here in Tucson from a small border town. And then all of a sudden, you wanted to be, well, besides Adrian, Linda, and David at the school, and we're the only Hispanic people working there, you wanted to become, like, you wanted to speak Spanish, and you became like Jose Jimenez, and then now you are my Ricardo Cupero. But you know what? I love you, and I thank you. You are an angel to all of us. Because like Adri said, and I'll piggyback on what she said, you must have a lot of shirts because you have given up your shirts for a lot of people off your back. To a lot of us. Love you. Teachers from school who, like Wanda, started off as a parent 20 years ago walking through Camp Adventure Gate with my 3-year-old daughter, and then found out you were starting a charter school, decided to check that out because we didn't like the direction that our schools were going, so you know, you looped us in that way, and then I started subbing and you hired. So, and then magically, I got pregnant with my 3rd child. The same time about 5 other teachers got pregnant that year. So we're really convinced that there's something in that water at TCDF. I no longer drink the water at TCDF. So he likes to populate from within, truly. And then when Maddie brought up the golf cart, you know, I think we all remember there was a time on campus that when that's how Richard got around. He took that magic golf cart, and there was a day where a parent was visibly upset because someone in a golf cart had almost, you know, run them over. And they're like, I need to talk to the owner, I need to talk to the principal, or and I'm like, well, he's the one in the golf cart. But Richard, like all of us, we are so grateful to you. You have given us a home. And for some it's been 50 years, for some it's been 20 years. But we could not be more thankful. So thank you so much.
Okay, hi. Hi. Richard, you are so lovely.
What is your name?
My name is Stacy. Stacy Love. Just call me Miss Stacy. I've been at the school for 12, 13 years now in a variety of positions. Actually, I don't even think I even knew you the first year I worked there. But I have to tell you, I do a lot of the brochures and the advertisements and such for the school. And I'm sorry, but Richard can be a real pain. I love you, but I get these little calls from Cindy saying, now Richard wants this little logo shifted about 2 steps this way. Okay, so I do it, send it back, and the next thing I know, well, now, can we change this color to a different shade of blue? Okay, so I do that. And in the final end, it's a hopefully quality product that makes you proud. And you make us proud. Thank you.
administrator. So I've known Richard since I was in high school. He used to come and watch softball games that I played in. That was a lot of fun. But I would say, there's two things I want to say. One, I could not be more honored or more privileged to work for someone like you. You are an amazing mentor. And every day I learn from you, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate your trust. I appreciate your trust in the entire campus, because you let us do every day what's best for kids. And that's what it's all about. But in all honesty, my most important job is being a parent. It's being a mom. And I have 5 kids, 5 amazing kids. When we moved to Phoenix, I had a newborn, a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and an 8-year-old. And we were looking for a school, and we signed up at a different charter school. And then my mom said, hey, you know, Tucson Country Day School's gonna have a charter school. You ought to go check it out. And we went and checked it out, and honestly, the reason we signed up there is because my 4-year-old loved the pool. And she said I have to go to a school that has a pool. So we signed up. But I have 5 kids, 4 have already promoted out of Tucson Country Day School. 1 will promote this year. So we have been there for 18 years. Ever since you opened the charter school, we had a child there. This will be our last year with a child, and we're not having any more. So, but what I appreciate, Richard, is that I have 5 champions, and I have 5 champions in large part because of what you offered them, and what you have given them. So I thank you for that. And I should say, my husband and I have 5 champions. We share them. But thank you. That is the most important thing to me in the world of anything that we do, is that you have made my children who they are today. So thank you.
Hi, Richard. Of all of you, it's been very interesting to be here tonight because you're talking. I gotta move. I'm Adrian. And I'm the principal of school. And it's interesting being a newbie to sit here tonight and hear all the great stories about you, Richard. All I can say is the first night that we met, you talked about what a school should be. And that really just, I knew at that point I wanted to leave where I was and join TCDS. Because your vision of a school spoke to me of what we should offer the kids, the best opportunities we can for their success and their futures. When I came, I was shocked to see a charter school had the programs it did, the staff it did, the caring people it did. I feel honored. Happy birthday, and thank you so much for letting me be a part and work with Jordan and Cindy as the administrative team. It's been a great experience. Thank you.
So I've known Nadine since Miss Sagati's 5th grade class. Miss Sagati. And I just want to say, you know, most of us are parents here, and when our child turns 16, we don't want to give them a Corvette for the day. We usually want to give them an armored tank. But Richard gave Nadine a Corvette, a green Corvette, to drive to school the day she turned 16. And because he knew how important it was to her, because Nadine loves muscle cars. Case in point, her Camaro out there, which Richard got for her too, thanks to Lauren. So that just, for someone who knows his child so well and is willing to do that for him, I think that speaks a lot. Also, when I moved back to Tucson, when my kids were very little, we were looking for a preschool for them, and of course we went to Tucson Country Day School, and my kids were there and they loved it, and Adri was my older son's pre-K teacher, and that son is now a 28-year-old married man. So, and I've worked at camp, and I just, the sense of community that, Richard, that you instill, and the fun that we have, and this woman that you raised, I just can't thank you enough. So happy birthday, and thank you so much for bringing me and allowing me to be a part of this.
All right.
I'm Bill Iveson, and what a respected individual. What superb character. What solid and altruistic values. But enough about Susan Cooper. I'm here to talk about Richard.
Yeah, Bill.
I've written a few things down because I've got a good memory, but it's short. And also I wanted to say it the way I wanted to say it, so bear with me on these things. This is a celebration. And here's Richard, 80 years old. 80 years old. It's amazing. And he still doesn't use glasses. He drinks straight from the bottle. Susan, you blew it. You should have married an archaeologist. They're the best that a woman can marry. Because the older she gets, the more interested he is in her. And Richard, I'd like to remind you that marriage is not a word, but a sentence. I met Richard 52 years ago. 52. Residual laughter here? All right. Richard and I share, one of the things we share is that we both love fiction. Pardon me, fact over fiction. And he's an amateur historian, loves true stories about history. And I have a few things I could tell him. One of the things is, did you know that Abraham Lincoln is in the, I gotta read what I put here, the one word, the Wrestling Hall of Fame? Most people didn't know that. He had over 300 matches and he lost once. But if I remember correctly, if you look at his the times he's run for office, which is over 30, he only won 3. So he was better at wrestling than he was at winning. Now, here is a true story, and it's been verified by the family. And I know you will like it, and the rest of you may listen. On July 20th, 1969, as commander of the Apollo 11 lunar module, Neil Armstrong was the first person to set foot on the moon. And as you know, his first words were, after stepping on the moon, "That's one small step for, and one giant leap for." Perfect. These comments were televised to Earth and millions saw them. But just before he re-entered the lander, he made the enigmatic remark, "Good luck, Mr. Gorski." Good luck, Mr. Gorski? Many people at NASA thought it was a casual remark concerning some rival Soviet cosmonaut. However, upon checking, there was no Gorski in either the Russian or the space programs. Over the years, many people questioned Armstrong as to what the "good luck, Mr. Gorski" statement meant. But he just always smiled and never said a word. On July 5th in 1995, while answering questions following a speech that a reporter brought up about the 26-year-old question about Mr. Gorski, And this time he finally responded because his Mr. Gorski had just died. So he felt he could answer the question, who was Mr. Gorski? Here's the true story. In 1938, when Armstrong was a kid, an 8-year-old kid, in a small Midwestern town, he was playing baseball with a friend in the backyard. His friend hit the ball, which landed in his neighbor's yard just below their bedroom window. His new neighbors there were Mr. and Mrs. Gorski. As he leaned down to pick up the ball, young Armstrong heard Mrs. Gorski shouting at Mr. Gorski, "Sex! You want sex? You'll get sex when the kid next door walks on the moon." True story. Poor guy had to wait 31 years. Nadine, your father has always said that you and Chris are a great comfort in his old age, and that you also helped him reach it faster. And I don't wish to belabor Richard's old age, but when he was young, the Dead Sea was still alive. Now, with apologies to Julie Andrews and to Richard, who loves Broadway shows. In fact, the last one we went to was The Man from La Mancha. Here's a parody called Richard's Favorite Things. Botox, you know the one, Botox and nose drops and prunes just for pitting. Walkers and handrails and new dental fittings. Bundles of Depends all tied up in bows. These are a few of his favorite things. Contracts and cataracts, hearing aids and glasses. Endless board meetings with a case of psoriasis. Pacemakers, arch supports, and bathtubs with rings. These are a few of his favorite things. When his pipes leak, when his joints creak, when his knees go bad, he simply remembers his favorite things and then doesn't feel so bad. Hot tea with honey and corn pads for bunions. No spicy hot food or food cooked with onions. Bathrobes and heating pads and laxatives they bring. These are a few of his favorite things. Back pain, confused brains, and no need for sinning. Weak bones and fractures and hair that is thinning. And we won't mention Susan's car filled with dings when he remembers his favorite things. When his joints ache, when his hips break, when his eyes grow dim, then Richard remembers the great life he's had and then doesn't feel so bad. If there's a more honest and generous person than Richard, I have yet to meet him or her. You don't know, but Richard probably supports 20% of Tucson with his charitable giving. All of us here this evening are sampling and tasting his generosity. And for that, we are continually grateful, Richard. And our greater Tucson Country Day School family, I say to you, Richard, we're just like fudge. Mostly sweet with a few nuts. Summarizing Richard and Susan's credo in life, I'd say, always remember to forget the troubles that pass your way, but never forget the blessings that come each day. Susan and Richard, thank you for being two of our blessings.
Anyone else?